Duel Review is brought to you by NexusDigitalComics.com. On today's Duel Review, it's Perfect Dark, the video games. I'm RJ.
And I'm Nick.
Let's get to it. Today is the 26th of June, and we're taking a look at the Perfect Dark video games.
That's right. The first one was for the N64, starting in 2000.
And I own it, but I couldn't find it. I think my nephew has it.
Probably. Anywho, so what's interesting about the Perfect Dark first video game for the N64 is that it is...
It's a girl.
Yes, it is a girl. Joanna Dark. Anyways, the tech behind it was actually the tech for GoldenEye for N64. A little bit of upgrades here and there, but mostly that tech. The reason that they couldn't call this a Bond game was because EA actually bought the rights to the Bond video game franchise, so Rare couldn't do any more games like that, but instead they made Perfect Dark. What's funny is that every now and then it'll kind of hint at the fact that it is, in fact, I don't know, I want to say James Bond
knockoff.
Well, not so much a knockoff, but like it's part of the continuity, but they don't really outright say it. It's just kind of hinted at that it could be, which is fun.
I guess I never got that.
Oh, really?
Not that I know of.
I distinctly remember it. Maybe my memory's just skewed. But yeah, I totally got that. Anyways, as far as plotline goes, the first one, the N64 one, follows Joanna Dark as she works for the Carrington Institute, and she's going up against Datadyne, who is an evil corporation, as there are so many in the actually early 90s to late 90s. And it's all also very big on the backdrop of these two alien races, the Mayans, or M-A-I-A-Ns, which I thought was Mayans, not like the civilization, who are the gray men, who are, well, let me get to that in a second. And then the, what are they, the Scars? No, Skeetars. The Skeetars, who are these Nordic lizard-like characters. And the reason I say Nordic, well, the alien races are taken directly from UFOlogy. What is that term? Ufology? I don't know. People who actually believe in it, and it's actually completely reversed. In the game, the gray men are kind of these evil people. I mean, are the good guys rather. But in ufology, the gray men are the bad guys, whereas the Nordics are the good guys. Nordics are kind of like, they're just taller versions of us. They look Scandinavian, and they're just trying to help and watch humanity. Whereas in the video game, they're really disguised as they're really lizard monsters disguised as humans, who are doing this, and they're working with Datadyne, and you have to kind of do that. What's awesome about the game, Perfect Dark, because we're not talking about aliens, we're talking about Perfect Dark, apparently, is all of the weapons have dual modes. So, while the pistol may have a pistol whip or something, you have that one gun, the laptop gun, I think it is, that also turns into a sentry, and all sorts of cool things. So they all have dual modes. That's really awesome. It brings up the dual wielding again, just a lot of fun stuff. It feels like a legitimate GoldenEye for the N64 version game. It's a lot of fun. Very cool to play.
I almost like it better, just because it has more of a sci-fi feel to it.
Right.
And, there's nothing that beats that original GoldenEye. When it came out, it was just so perfect. But I really like what they did. Perfect Dark Zero, I don't think, did enough. And this is the one we're talking about, right? This one I do have also, and it's here.
That was a launch title for the X64
I
and
do like
Xbox 360. What did I say? X64. Xbox 360. It's a launch title, and it is exclusive for the Xbox.
I don't like the controls. I've recently revisited it, actually, and I don't like the controls. It's actually quite similar to the way I felt when playing Piano 3.
Okay.
Where it doesn't have the true dual, like Modern Warfare or something has now. Like, that's kind of like the standard now. It's the one stick, and then you kind of move the camera with the other one a little bit. But so it's a little bit aggravating that way. And it felt a little bit too sparse, and it felt maybe rushed. I don't know, but I did like it. I'm not saying I didn't like it.
I liked it too. I thought it was a pretty good game. I'm sorry, were you going to say?
No, go ahead.
I was going to talk about plot, so if you want to interject.
I was just going to say we shouldn't downplay. I mean, I did bring up that she's a girl
Yeah.
for a reason, because this was a big deal, not necessarily in the 360 days, but in the N64 days, to have a main character that was
Right.
as badass as she and a girl was a big deal.
Yeah.
That's part of why I really liked it. Actually, that's part of why I bought it, is because I've always been more interested in women. You know, they just seem, you know, more interesting. They have more to gain, more to lose. They're just I don't know. It's just more suspenseful and satisfying when something happens, and I don't know. It's always been more compelling for me to and this was one of the first it was all her.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what other games? I mean, before, even like platformers. Can you think of, you know, name 2 platformers that had girls as the main protagonist?
I can't.
Yeah, I'm sure there are some out there. That's why I said
Yeah.
2, in case you can come up with one. But Tomb Raider and, you know, whatever.
Oh yeah, Tomb Raider came out before this.
Yeah, but I mean, now we wouldn't think twice about, you know, whatever, girls, whatever, Blood Rain, and I don't know. You could actually, there really needs to be another Blood Rain game. It's been way too long. So those stupid U-Bowl movies.
Yeah.
Destroyed it. Anyway, so that is a big deal. So
sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just about to say there was that that kind of side scroller one,
the 2-dimensional one, it was okay.
So as far as plotline goes for this one, the Xbox 360, this is actually a prequel where the first game came in like 2023 or whatever, or was set in 2023 rather. This one's set in 2020. She's not working for Carrington Institute yet. She's actually a bounty hunter with her father, and it's just kind of them, you know, doing their missions until you know, something happens, and she ends up joining Carrington Institute and kind of rolls into that. And it's got a little more about, not really about the lizard people, but a little more about the Mayans, you know, space tech and stuff like that. They were trying to reawaken a ship in sea or something like that. So there are some problems gameplay wise. You know, it's not always, you know, the controls are kind of lacking, but it's not terrible. I didn't have a huge problem with it. I still enjoy it. I don't really like the cover system because it's essentially once you hit cover, you can't move.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like you can, you know, move over to the right to get a better vantage point.
It's a little frustrating when you're in the heat of battle and you just all you need to do is turn around or something, and it just makes it more difficult.
Yeah, you have to get out of cover.
Or you're exposed when you're in cover. Yeah. It's just, that's irritating.
But I mean, for what it was, I think this was one of the first games. Well, no, I wouldn't say one of the first games to have a cover system, because I remember Winback had a decent cover system.
Yeah, that's a good one. I actually had that one too.
Yeah. But it was pretty good for what it is. There is a lot of cool stuff, a lot of you know, robots and stuff. You know, everybody loves robots. They're awesome.
Yeah, I think I always have
cool
kind
spy tech, futuristic.
Yeah,
spy tech.
For sure. I think, and you know, like a little
the spy cam I hated.
Yeah,
I hated it.
It's kind of cool.
First of all, the noise. Like, I mean, when you're playing with the volume up, you know, just to get the full feel, all you hear is as you're moving around. It's freaking annoying. And plus, the controls for that is annoying. Like, you can't. You have to stay on a certain amount of space between the floor. You can't move up or down, so there's no elevations. You just have to stay where you are.
Yeah, I was just checking to make sure when Tomb Raider came out. It came out in '96, so this one came 4 years later. So it definitely has something to do, you know, a large portion to, you know, thank Tomb Raider for preparing the way. But
well, I think Tomb Raider really was like one of the first.
The only problem is the only thing I heard about Tomb Raider is, oh, you can look at her boobs. That's literally the first experience I had with Tomb Raider. Is like, you could move the camera to just stare at her boobs. I
had the Tomb Raider demo, and I would go into a corner, move the camera, and look at the box.
Bad Nick.
It was a rectangular box of boob.
Bad Nick.
You know, it wasn't even two. It was one boob, one rectangular boob, and it was like, this is amazing.
Yes. Yeah.
Score!
I was going to say that...
now we have Dead or Alive.
This has the... not me, I don't have Dead or Alive.
I don't either, but that's what I'm saying is, you know, there's boob mechanics in video games.
Keeps moving independently, that's ridiculous. Okay, so anyway...
I don't want that, I want boxes.
We had boxes in our day, and they were awesome.
We liked them.
They were firm and sharp, but awesome. Okay.
You can get a paper cut.
So this is, you know, we've been talking about it being like a sci-fi version of GoldenEye.
Right.
And I always had kind of a love-hate relationship with that because I hate it when they just plug superfluous aliens in to make it like, okay, we want to have lasers, so let's just put aliens in there. But it was, I don't know, it was shiny and new. We had fun new gadgets. So it's kind of like I hate that they defaulted to that, but at the same time, it's the reason they did that is the reason that I loved.
Right.
It was to do all these stupid things, out of the box things.
Right.
I shouldn't say stupid.
What I can say is that, especially with the first game, the aliens were more of a backdrop. You didn't really see them until the very end levels.
That one you do, though.
Yeah, this one you do. Maybe not as much as you think, but enough.
Yeah. But yes, for an espionage first-person shooter, it was
spy
awesome
feature stuff.
Would you recommend it now? Because I brought over my 360 for my nephew and niece to play with while they were here, visiting their grandparents and yada yada yada. And this was one of the games that I had, so I supplied that. And I went over there, and they were playing it, so I hopped in and I played it, and I just immediately I started getting frustrated because of the camera issues.
Yeah.
So I liked the story. I love, it was perfect in its time. I'm not sure that I can recommend this game as it is.
Here's the thing. This is a launch title, so it's got all the, it's got all the problems that come with launch titles, and that, they didn't really know the tech yet. They're just kind of testing the waters. It's not as great as the other games that are out now, especially. However, if you go to GameStop, it's $1.19, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it is cheap, like real cheap.
That's worth that.
It's totally worth it.
Once you get into even like PNO3, like our game lab today, once you get used to it, it's not that bad.
Right.
So it's the same thing with this. It's just that initial, it just pulls you out of it, and you start seeing the graphics because you're frustrated. You just can't move, so you start picking it apart. That's the only issue.
Right.
But once you get used to it, it's pretty solid. I would love to see this franchise, revamped again. That StarCraft, the ghost, the lady, the StarCraft gal.
Yeah.
It was totally like the spiritual successor to this. I was so looking forward to that game.
Yeah, okay.
And then they pulled the plug on it. I actually bought some manga based on that character and her team because I really was compelled by that, but they haven't capitalized on that, done anything with that. So
what you're learning is we like female characters in leads.
I like female characters. He likes them too, but I really like them.
He likes them.
So
he likes to play as women.
Yeah, I do. What's wrong with that?
Nothing, man. Nothing.
So anyway, yeah. So
he wears women's shoes.
I look forward. No, I don't. I look forward to the next one.
Yeah, hopefully there will be a next one. I really hope so. I haven't heard anything, but I mean, Perfect Dark was a great series when it came out. Especially since Rare pretty much said, "Well, you can take Bond from us, you rat bastards, but we're gonna keep the engine that made it great."
Yeah.
So yeah, I am looking forward. I hope that they do some really cool more spy stuff. But then again, at the same time, you have the Deus Ex series, so that kind of I like Deus Ex. I like Deus Ex.
I wanted to. It just got so boring for me.
But this definitely has the espionage, the cool stuff, and So I would recommend, especially since you could get it for $1.19 at GameStop. I think it was $1.19. It wasn't a lot at all because it's a launch title and they've got an overabundance of them.
All right, guys. Follow us on Facebook. Tell us what you think. Subscribe on YouTube.
Check out our wares at spiderwolf.com. We have t-shirts, prints, short stories, and his wonderful, wonderful card game. And we have Kickstarter stuff to come. And as you know, we're putting out new content every day at NexusDigitalComics.com.
Yeah, and YouTube. There'll be channels on YouTube.
Yes, YouTube channels too.
Our first game lab is up today, as we've mentioned a couple times. And so go check it out. It's really fun. PNO3. More to come. All right, guys. See you next time. Oh, there you go. I felt bad with the first one, so.
My first instinct is to say bye, but you're like, go and shoot. And I'm like,
You can say bye and drive to a bye. A little about the next Unreal Engine up next.
Hello and welcome to Duel Review. We have a wonderful show for you.
We're going to review stuff because that's what we do. That's what you said the first time. Can't even remember your own damn lyrics.
We should totally have...
If we were monkeys, we'd throw some poo.
That works.
Easy, let's go upstairs, go in the shoe. Do review. Time to do that do review. Hold your breath till you're blue for the next do review. If you don't, you're a fool. And we'll sue you. On the next do review. RJ says something stupid and Nick laughs. That wasn't it. You'll know, Nick. You'll know.
What was the movie?
Huh?
Man on Fire.
Yes. I've got a lot to say about that one.
And what are we doing for
Got a lot to say.
for
Huh? He's contagious in more than one way. I got sick and I can't stop singing. It's really annoying. Today's Duel review. On today's Duel review, we took a look at an awesome video game called Perfect Dark. Perfect Dark. Hard to do a T, the letter T. Oh, damn it. P. It's really hard to do a P when you're doing the lip thing. On today's Duel review, it's Perfect Dark. The series, kind of. Not really.
actually you get very really.
Is it? Is it a series?
Well, there's 2 of them. That makes a series.
Ka-chow!
See, I laid it down. You saw that?
Yeah, I thought you were like stabbing something.
Like ka-chow!
Ow! Quick, list your major contributions to Duel review. Number 1.
Me or you?
You. Ka-chow. That's what I was looking for.
Ka-chow. Okay. Show me ka-chow!
Being suave. Singing. Annoying RJ.
Yes!
And ka-chow. I mean, ka-chow! Ka-chow!
I contribute a lot to the review.
Ka-chow!
Okay. I am comedic humor.
K-A-C-H and O and W. That's what you get. Ka-chow.
Ka-chow!